How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Krakatoa. If you'd like to farm the Krakatoa for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to Lectra City, making your way through the map and towards the save station. From there, head towards the left and down this ramp where you can find an entrance to the tunnels beneath. Making another left to move further into the tunnels, you'll be able to come across Tumorhead's hideout where, heading inside, you will be able to kill Tumorhead, who can drop you the Krakatoa. Keep in mind, Tumorhead will only spawn to be killed after completing the Proof of Wife side quest. The Krakatoa is a legendary Maliwan sniper rifle, only able to roll as incendiary, and requiring a brief charge up time before firing and being fully automatic. On kill, the Krakatoa will spawn a volcano at the feet of the corpse, which periodically shoots out fireballs that will arc up and then back down towards the ground, dealing fire splash damage to enemies hit. Final thing worth mentioning is that the Krakatoa does have almost entirely locked parts, with only the foregrip changing, being one of 4 options, meaning there is only 4 entire variants of the Krakatoa. The Krakatoa has received a couple of buffs, initially gaining a massive weapon damage increase, which was later followed up by another 20% weapon damage increase in the overall sniper buff. The Krakatoa was one of, if not the first Giga buff, and I think this is eventually what led to it being forgotten, as its time in the spotlight was prior to so many other things getting super big buffs and other super strong gear being added, eventually leading to the Krakatoa being forgotten more and more as time went on, as the absolutely insane damage that it put out was becoming less and less unique. But that is the more general reason, because I think there's a bit more direct blame to be had. Can you think of another giga-buffed base game weapon that is locked to incendiary and has locked parts? If you guessed the Hellwalker, congratulations. If you didn't, please know I'm rapidly approaching. But yeah, the Hellwalker, probably the most popular gun in BL3, got its massive buff just a few months after the Krakatoa, and its relevance quickly surpassed it, being carried by Reddit posts showing off their god rolls and the fact that it was a pretty common world drop. Also, just the super satisfying double-barrel super shotgun aspect of it. The Krakatoa, on the other hand, is a far more generic gun while also not world dropping nearly as often, at least in my experience. Even when it was initially buffed, while it did get some hype, I still never saw that many people running it, which was insane because, again, this thing's damage numbers are fucking crazy high. But crazy high damage numbers can't always make a gun entertaining. So while it was the face of the Gigabuffs for some time, it was inevitably going to be replaced, and therefore was so almost immediately when the Hellwalker joined the buff gang and led a mutiny on the Krakatoa. Now, although forgotten, it's not to say that it's at all deserved, at least performance-wise. This thing still got that massive buff and then some later on from the sniper buff. It holds up, and damn well, slapping incredibly fucking hard all the way up into True Guardian Takedown. This is easily one of those guns that can absolutely be a staple on one of your builds, especially as it does still hold its niche as a full auto Maliwan sniper, with the only other gun really in competition for that being the Firestorm, but I think these guns work almost entirely differently, and therefore each are unique enough to be seen pretty separately. The biggest downside to the Krakatoa is that it can often play very similarly to an assault rifle rather than a sniper, but of course does still draw from the tiny sniper ammo pool, meaning you can run dry pretty quick if you kind of get a little lax with your gameplay. I don't think this is at all unreasonable though, because the damage that this thing outputs more than makes up for it, and the ammo issue can be pretty easily remedied with some ammo regen, or just keeping in mind that yes, this is a sniper and not an assault rifle. So as long as you're aiming and landing those shots, you really shouldn't have any issue upkeeping your ammo through whatever area you're using it in. The other downside is that the on-kill effect is very similar to many others, where the damage from the gun itself has to be what kills to trigger it. This means if you're using bonus elements or a short fuse and stag den with Moes, if the damage from those is what kills the enemy, then that mini volcano won't spawn. This leads to it being pretty difficult to actually get it to trigger on builds, especially on Moes, but luckily it's pretty unnecessary to the success of this weapon and is more of just a nice little bonus. And even then, it's sort of just cosmetic. I do appreciate that it's there and I'm happy when it triggers, but those orbs are rarely going to actually hit anything. And even when they do, it doesn't really deal all that much damage. Overall though, the Krakatoa is absolutely a top tier weapon, easily being very, very, very high tier. I mean, it is an elemental sniper rifle dealing 142,000 damage, while also being full auto. It's got one tap potential, and then even if it doesn't one tap, you're gonna be able to burst down the rest of the enemy in 0.2 seconds anyways. It's a very good gun. I believe it's just been forgotten due to the pure simplicity of it and the fact that its buff happened so early in the life cycle of the game that it just got left in the dust behind cooler and more interesting weapons. But that's gonna about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where you can follow to be notified of when I go live, and just under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.